Hello and welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. I hope you revised the contents of the previous session and you are also ready to learn something new and interesting in this session. If you remember, in the previous session we did irregular verbs and their conjugations. Today in this session also we are going to do irregular verbs and their conjugations. Well, not the old irregular verbs, some more and common irregular verbs which are used in the German language. Now, let us look at the other category of irregular verbs and the conjugations. Now, in this category, the verbs have the letter A or A, which in the conjugation is replaced by A, with which you are familiar with. If you remember, I had told you that this letter A is actually a combination of two vowels A and E, and it is called a diphthong. Now, let us look at the verbs where this change in conjugation occurs. I have chosen here 4 verbs which are very common irregular verbs in the German language. These verbs are fahren, tragen, schlafen, waschen. Fahren, which means to drive or to travel, tragen, which means to wear, schlafen, which means to sleep, and waschen, which means to wash. Now, let us look at these verbs. As you know, all these verbs are infinitive verbs. Infinitive verbs are those verbs which are in non-conjugated and they have an en ending, as you can see for all these 4 verbs. Also, these verbs have an A in them. Now, these A's or A are between 2 consonants. In fahren, the letter A or A is between F and H or F and H. In tragen, it is between the letters R and G or R and G. And in the verb schlafen, A or A is situated between L and F or L und F. And in this verb waschen, the letter A or A is situated between B and S or W and S. Now, let us look at the change which occurs for these verbs. When they are combined with the pronouns, they undergo transformation, as you know. So, the conjugation happens something like this: Ich fahre, du fährst, es fährt, Sie fahren, wir fahren, ihr fahrt. Sie fahren, Sie fahren. As you can see, in this verb fahren, the change occurs in the level of du at RCS, du being the second person and RCS being the third person, both in singular. Here, the letter A or A is replaced by A, as well as the verb ending changes to ST in case of du, and RCS, the verb ending changes to T, and also the letter A is replaced by A. In a similar manner, for the verb tragen, the conjugation is Ich trage, du trägst, RCS trägt, Sie tragen, wir tragen, ihr tragt, Sie tragen und Sie tragen. So, if you see, for du and for RCS, the verb conjugation of tragen is at the level of the vowel change as well as at the level of the ending of the verb. So, we have trägst for du and trägt. For the verb schlafen, the verb conjugation is Ich schlafe, Du schläfst, sie schläft, sie schlafen, wir schlafen, ihr schlaft, sie schlafen, sie schlafen. Like in the previous verbs, here also the conjugation of the verb schlafen with du and rs takes place at the end as well as in the middle. And moving on to the last verb in this category, waschen, we have ich wasche, du wäschst, es wäscht, sie waschen, wir waschen, ihr wascht, sie waschen and sie waschen. So, if you look closely, waschen is also conjugated in the same manner like the previous verbs in this category, where the letter a or a is replaced by a along with the ending of the verb. So, while conjugating the verbs which are in this category, always remember to change the vowel as well as the ending of the verb with the respective pronoun. Now, let us do some exercises to learn this aspect better. Now, let us do some exercises based on the irregular verbs which we have dealt in the previous session. For that, we would take the help of one of our students who would write the answers, and then later we would check if the answers given by the student are right or wrong. So, now we look at the answers given by the student and see if the answers are right or wrong. Now, look at this sentence. Ich trage ein T-shirt. Here, the verb tragen is conjugated with the person pronoun ich, and as you know, any verb when conjugated with the person pronoun ich carries the ending a or e. The answer here is therefore right. Ram wäscht das Auto. Here we have Ram as noun, and the verb which is conjugated here is the verb waschen, and the conjugation occurs here at the end of the verb with the letter t or t, and also at the middle of the verb with a umlaut or a as it is called in German. The answer therefore is also correct. Trägt eine Jeans. Now, third person singular pronoun conjugated with the verb tragen. At the end, as you can see, the ending is te, and also there is a vowel change here, and a is inserted at the place of a in German. Die Studenten schlafen im Unterricht. Here the nouns die Studenten, which means plural, the students, is used to conjugate the verb schlafen, and since it is a plural noun, the conjugation occurs here at the level of the plural conjugation, which you know is equivalent to z, and therefore here the verb conjugation is an or en, which is a correct answer. Now, look at this sentence. Der Mann fährt nach Hause. Here, der Mann or the pronoun er, which is for the masculine gender, is conjugated with the verb fahren, and just like the verb waschen or tragen, fahren undergoes a change not only at the end of the verb with the addition of the letter t or t, but also in the middle where the vowel a or a is replaced by a, as it is in German. So, you can see now that our student could successfully write all the answers in the correct manner without any problem. So, you can also get your answers right with the verb conjugations and also use them effectively if you learn the basic principles of verb conjugations and also the slight change in rules for each and every verb. Now, let us move to the other category of irregular verbs, where again there is a change in the vowel. Now, let us look at the last category of the irregular verbs. Now, this category also contains a change in the structure of the verb. Here, the change happens again at the level of the vowel. Here, two vowels a and u are slightly changed, where the vowel a is replaced by the vowel a, like in the previous category, and the vowel u is retained. So, now let us look at the verb which contains this kind of a transformation. Here, I am going to concentrate on one verb. There are many verbs in German which can be conjugated according to this principle. Now, I am going to look at the verb laufen, to run, which is a very common irregular verb. Let us look at the conjugation of the verb laufen. Ich laufe, du läufst, es läuft, sie laufen, wir laufen, ihr lauft, sie laufen, sie laufen. As you can see, the conjugation of the verb laufen with ich, sie, wir, ihr, sie and sie follow the predictable pattern, where the verb laufen is conjugated with a in case of ich, with sie, wir, sie and sie it is conjugated with an or en, and with ihr it is conjugated with te or t. As in the previous cases, the change occurs as usual in the case of second person singular, that is du, and RZS third person singular, where the vowel a, u, there are two vowels a and u are replaced or somewhat transformed in the structure, where the vowel a is changed or replaced by a, though the vowel u is retained, and this transformation occurs only for the second and for the third person singular pronouns. Now, with the help of certain exercises, we can learn this verb conjugation in a better manner. Now, one of our students would come and do certain exercises based on the conjugation of the verb laufen. After the exercises, we would see if the answers given are right or wrong. Now, let us look at the answers given by the student. Usain Bolt, we know, is a very prominent athlete. Here, Usain Bolt läuft sehr schnell. Usain Bolt, the noun, third person, läuft sehr schnell. Here, the verb laufen is conjugated as per the ending te at the end, and also, as I told you, the vowel change happens here, where the vowel a is replaced by a and the vowel u is retained. However, the pronunciation changes and it becomes läuft. The answer given here is correct. Number 2, wohin läufst du? Here we have the pronoun du, and when it is conjugated with the verb laufen, the ending is st or ste, and the change occurs in the middle of the verb, where the vowel a is replaced by a and the u is attached to it. Wohin läufst du is the right conjugation, and therefore the answer is correct. Läuft nach Hause. Like the sentence number 1, here also the conjugation is as per the third person singular and retains the letter te or t and changes in the middle. Answer given is correct. Ich laufe im Park. Here, as you know, with the verb conjugation with the pronoun ich, the only change occurs at the end, where the letter a is added to the verb. So, with this we finish the irregular verbs in German language, and as I can tell you, you can easily learn them if you follow the rules for verb conjugation in all the 4 categories which we did today. In the next session, we will do something more interesting. For today, as we say, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss.